Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jen, and this is A Better Life with Jen. And today is another installment in my Road to 50 series, where I am intentionally embarking on a bulking season, trying to gain some muscle, maximize the strength. Now, if you watched last month's episode, you know that I actually already turned 50, so the road has led to 50. But I have decided to continue this series as long as I'm continuing my bulk, which will be for several more months. So I thought I would just keep the name and continue it. So let's talk about how the last month went. I did have some travel in the last month, so that sometimes makes things a little more complicated. But overall, my training is going well. I'm continuing to try to focus on progressive overload, getting stronger in the gym. So we'll talk about where things are now and then some changes that I'm making going forward. So I will put up some comparison pictures of how my body looks. Really no change in measurements. Last month my waist was 24 3/4 and it's essentially the same. And glutes are unchanged at 35.5 inches. Now weight has increased slightly. Last month, I should say, my average was 112.1. This month my average is 112.4, so up about, a third of a pound in a month, which is, shall we say, slow growth. Now, I would like to see some increase in the glute measurement, especially, along with that increase in weight. But by adding weight more slowly, you decrease the risk of adding a bunch of fat and maximize the potential for adding lean tissue and muscle, which is what I really want. I mean, when anybody enters a growth or bulking season, they probably don't want to add a bunch of fat, and pretty much if you ask anybody, they want to add some muscle and some lean tissue. So slow growth is better. I heard someone recently on a video say that a bulking season is more like a marathon, and sometimes people try to treat it like a sprint. So what will I be doing different going forward? The first thing is I am changing up my macros. So when I talked to you last month, my macros were at 2,500 calories. And what I've done now is I'm incorporating some carb cycling. Now, there's some conflicting evidence. People talk about carb cycling is great for metabolic health, metabolic flexibility. Some people say it doesn't really matter. But what carb cycling is essentially you have higher carb days and lower carb days. On those lower carb days, my fats are a little bit higher to keep the calories fairly close. And I am scheduling my lower carb days on the days that I do not do strength training. I just do some easy recovery cardio. So I have 4 days a week of strength training. So those are going to be my higher carb days, which leaves 3 days a week where I just do some cardio, and I'm going to have slightly lower carb days. So I have started instituting this within the last week, and it's going well. So what my current macros are on my lower carb days, I'm coming in right at about 2,450 calories. And I've dropped the carbs pretty significantly. They are down to 250 grams. Now, for many people, this still seems like a lot, but compared to what I was doing, it's, a drop. Protein is coming in at 150, and then fats on those low carb days is 94 grams. So like I said, that comes in right at about 2,450 calories. So on my higher carb days, I have definitely bumped my carbs up. On those days, my carbs come in at 320 grams, drop the fats a little bit to 80 grams, and protein stays the same at 150 grams. And that brings my calories on my higher carb training days at 2,600. Now, that is higher than where I was last month, but when you actually average it out over the week with those lower days, the higher days, the average comes out to be right at about 2,500. So really no significant change in calories over a week. It's just partitioning those calories out a little bit so that you can use that fuel on those training days to really fuel those muscles and try to, put 120% effort in the gym. Now, the other big change that I have made is I joined a commercial gym. Now, as you probably are aware, I have a very nice, well-equipped home gym. I have lots of cardio equipment at home. If you haven't seen my home gym tour video, go ahead and check that out. I'll link that in the description. But I have a nice home gym. I was previously doing Orange Theory, which is fun. The people are great. The energy is great. The coaches are amazing, but it was kind of expensive. And the style of classes, I was going once a week, mostly for the social aspect of it. But the style of Orange Theory classes does not really facilitate good muscle growth because you're doing more lighter weight, higher reps, which is not the best for those really good strength gains. So I dropped Orange Theory and I joined a new commercial gym that just opened up called Crunch. It's a chain, so they have a lot of them. It's huge. It was significantly cheaper than Orange Theory, and I can go anytime. Their hours are great, and they have so much equipment. They really have some pieces of equipment that I don't have in my home gym, and so I'm very excited about using those. And they just opened. I've gone a few times, and it's a really nice place. But the other thing that I did is I hired a personal trainer. So I'm doing a 6-month package with a personal trainer. Now, years and years ago, I worked with a personal trainer, and it was an incredible experience. That trainer made me do things I never thought I could do. This was when I was first getting into strength training, and it was incredible. So I decided that if I really want to focus on being my healthiest, strongest, fittest in my 50s, I really needed a little help. Now, I know what to do. I can program workouts for other people, but it's the actual doing. So I can go into the gym and have a workout laid out and I can do it, but am I really pushing myself as much as when somebody else is there? And the answer is no. I stop long before my body stops. Your mind gives out long before. And so I figured that by hiring a personal trainer just for a few sessions, only going to do once a week, to really focus on lower body training, because that is the part that I give up on way sooner than I should or need to. And so basically I'm paying somebody to kick me in the butt and push me and make me go when I want to stop. And that is what I need. That type of training doesn't work for everybody, but that's what I need. Because I will stop and I need somebody to push me for just, one more rep. So I'm really excited about that. I'm starting coming up this week. So very excited to see how that goes. And I'm really hoping that that really helps me get on some strength and some muscle. So that is an update on how things are going on my road to be my fittest in my 50s now that I am 50, although I'm going to keep the title the same. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these things. Let me know if you've ever worked with a personal trainer and how you felt it went. Was it helpful? Did you find it, beneficial? If you did enjoy this video and enjoy following along on this journey of mine, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all of those things. And as always, I appreciate everyone watching, and I will see you next week with another video.